sacred souls. So I wanted to hop on here today just to provide an important reminder, which is that just because something is commonly done or widely accepted does not mean that it is normal, right? So just because we see people acting in a certain way all around us, or we are in an environment where everyone is doing kind of the same thing, doesn't mean that it's necessarily natural or normal to who we are as sovereign beings. So let me give you an example of this in my own life. So before I got into the wellness industry, I was working in the New Mexico film industry. And this is not to put anyone who works in that industry down, but just to say that for me, that, I came to a realization after several years of working in it that it was not serving my soul, not serving my spirit, my body. And looking back on it now, I can see that for me, it was an oppressive atmosphere. And I actually recently just read an article that, it's not just me that felt that way. It's many other people in film who are kind of waking up to this realization and standing up for this reality that the film industry expects a lot from you, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of overtime, basically because it works as a per production industry, that for each production you work on, you are expected to sacrifice your normal social life, sacrifice everything for this production until it's over. And for me, I was working in the accounting department. I saw a lot of stress, not just within me, but within my superiors, and I saw how that manifested in negative outcomes for people in terms of drinking a lot, in terms of eating unhealthy foods to cope, getting those small hits of pleasure and dopamine that you get from eating unhealthy foods, and also just seeing how it became a really toxic atmosphere of projecting your own frustrations out onto other people, right? And kind of it just fostered an unhealthy atmosphere. And not to say that I worked on productions which I met incredible people and we had incredible connections and that we worked well as a team as well, but just in general, I felt incredibly overworked, overstressed, and I saw that in the people around me as well. But the thing is that we, kind of had this message fed to us that that's how film is. That's just how it is. And if you're working in this industry, that's the life you're gonna live, right? So you need to expect to be working overtime. You need to expect to be sacrificing your normal social life. You need to expect to be tired and pushing through with lots of caffeine, lots of Starbucks. And they provide that to you as well. You are provided your lunch at your desk, so you work through lunch. Your lunch is provided for. You are fed, but you are expected. It's not an official rule, I don't think, but you're expected to sit at your desk and work during lunch. So I realized when I was working there that I needed to take care of myself, and so that's when self-care really became a big part of my life, was when I realized I had to do something to be able to cope with this stress and this kind of oppressive atmosphere that I was in. So, I would take breaks to go on walks around the building, and I brought in some plants. In one production that I worked on, the building that we were in was an old military building, and literally my office had 0 windows. It kind of felt like a fortress or a prison. And so for me, what I had to do was I got a little plant and I would take it out to the lobby where it could get some sun and bring it back in so that I could just have like, something around me to like lift my vibration. On one of the last productions that I worked on, I like brought in all my crystals and everything. I just found that, and that's when I started really changing the way that I was eating, really starting to take care of myself, because at the time I was kind of, I was committed to a production and I was gonna stick it through until the end, but I couldn't do it without the self-care and without doing those things that really lifted my vibration and made me feel better. But now being out of that industry, because I couldn't continue with that, I realized that that was not going to be my path. And it's funny because I actually had just gotten into the film union, and then I was like, actually, no, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. And that's when I started to pursue my health coaching certificate, and I took a big pay cut to go work at a gym and do like nutritional coaching and stuff like that. So, I had to follow what was right for me and really follow what my body was telling me. I was struggling a lot with a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of digestive problems during that time that I was working in film. There was also like personal stuff that I was going through, but it was completely and totally exacerbated by the environment that I was in. So I just want to remind you guys that, and the thing is in film is that everyone's stressed out, everyone's overworked, and that's normal. That's considered what the film industry is. So now that I'm out of that and able to step back from that and look at that and realize like, no, that's not okay for the people that are still working in that industry. Like, those people deserve to have personal time. They deserve to take breaks during the day. They deserve to just like work in an environment that is cooperative and like nourishing for them as well. I think that overall in American society, we have a very self-sacrificing attitude towards work. Like, that's what work is. And I think that's something that we need to deeply question. And we're coming upon this time where a lot is coming to light, and we are questioning the systems we've been operating under for a long time, and really asking that question of who do they serve, because they don't seem to be serving the people equally. In fact, they seem to be hurting certain groups of people. And it's something that, because we are all connected and we are all a part of this society, that we need to come together to start really tuning in to what is right for us, and like listening to our bodies. And that is part of the beauty of the divine feminine, is getting in tune with your inner knowing and with your body to tell you what is right for you. And for me, when I worked in film, my body was 100% telling me that was not right for me. That was not part of my soul path. That was not part of what I am meant to be doing on this planet. And of course it was, in the sense of that I needed to go through that experience to learn, but that it wasn't something that I was meant to continue doing. And I just had to listen to myself, even when it went against all logical reason of like, I had just gotten into the union, I had just, I was gonna start making more steady money, like more money, and then get the benefits of being in the union and all of that. And then I decided to step away from it, and I'm glad that I did. And I'm not going to say that everything's been totally easy since then either, but that the important thing is that I'm aligned to me. I'm aligned to what my body and my spirit knows is right for me, walking this path of wellness, of self-care, of transformation, of coaching, of guiding, of inspiration. These are the things that resonate with me. These are the things that matter to me, and that wasn't something I was able to do in that industry. Also having a lot more self-autonomy, and so we're gonna have, this isn't to say that everyone needs to like leave film or whatever. For some people, that industry is their passion, that, and so that's different. But really also taking into account, like, how is this having an impact on me and my health? And what about this is aligned for me, and what about this isn't aligned for me? And if there are things that are not aligned, like, how can I talk to the people that I'm surrounded by and really kind of, figure out if we feel the same way about this, and maybe we could do something to change this. Because right now is a time of change, both within us and on the outside. And we can work in both realms, right? So I just wanted to share that with you guys, that right now is a time to be discerning and to really tune into your inner knowing and your inner wisdom to help you make decisions about your life right now. And to not just do something because it's become normalized, or because everyone around you is doing it, or because the government is telling you to do it, right? Like, still be discerning, like, still, tune into, does this feel right? We have to start really stepping into our inner power and our inner knowing and our sovereignty as individuals and as a collective community, and knowing that we are connected to everyone, but that we still need to be mindful for ourselves and know that everything that we need to know is within us. We are the answer that we are seeking, right? But we can't do it alone at the same time. And that when we tune into ourselves and start to lead from that spot of our inner wisdom, our inner divinity, then that is when we can inspire others to do the same, when we can start connecting with others who are doing the same. And it's a beautiful feeling to start to be aligned with your soul's highest path. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully it's some food for thought. And I'm curious if you've been through similar experiences, and when was a time that you felt like everyone was kind of going along with something or doing something and it just didn't feel right for you, and maybe you were able to kind of break away from that, take a step back and kind of like really look at that, and then follow your heart and follow your own inner decision-making process to do what was right for you. So think about a time where maybe you've done that, and keep in mind that moving into all the changes that we're going to be experiencing in our society and in the world, it's really important to be able to do that, to tune into ourselves, and to make decisions that are aligned to our soul's path. All right, thank you guys for watching.